you can put, and like, I love these two. Do not put this in a plastic container. You prefer, really the preference is glass, but you could put a tiny drop of peppermint, or this is citrus fresh. Citrus fresh is a blend of orange and mandarin and tangerine and grapefruit and a little bit of spearmint. It's so refreshing, and you put some ice in it, just stir it up, make yourself a nice drink and sip on it. And it's no sugar, it's no extra calories, but it gives your water that little bit of something. So that might be a little bit of a help to get you to drink water, to stay hydrated. And the other thing that I love, have any of you ever bought these mist, M-I-S-T-E-R, mister bottles? I get them on Amazon. I have no connection to Amazon, but I use these for a lot of things. And if you have children, even if you have pets, you're on the go in the summer, fill these with cold water or ice water. You could even buy, did you ever see the molds to make thin sticks of ice, like to stick into a water bottle? You could stick one in here. And I brought 2 coolers with me because I just want to tell you, I'm not making it up. That's the one over there that I really did have in my car. This is the one for class purposes. But I like to always travel with some ice. Like, if you go back to the days, if you had little kids, you never ran out of the house without like a diaper bag or something. But I like to stay prepared. And in the summer, it's nice to, when you run out of the house, if you make it a routine, take a cooler, take some ice, because first of all, you never know if you're going to run to the store and pick up some milk or something. Or it's never hurts to have ice. If you're at a sporting event, someone gets hurt, you have some ice. But I like to keep cold water with me. Also, you never know, what if you break down? What if your car breaks down and you're stuck on a hot road? To have some ice water, you go to the beach, you go to the park, you can just spritz yourself with this. So I really, really like these bottles, and I just wanted to share that with you. And, just, again, just enjoy water. Okay, now salt, because remember I told you all the great things that come from the earth? Are any of you familiar with Epsom salt? Okay, so Epsom salt is, I think it's, I wanted to make sure I said it right, magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is a mineral that's really relaxing. Oh, okay, no, that's okay. I thought it was my phone, and I just realized I forgot to put mine on do not disturb. So hopefully no text will come through there. No, I just realized I was going to do mine. I also like magnesium chloride. I want to pass these around because these are great to put in baths. And if you don't like baths, a foot soak. There's no reason you can't treat yourself. This is, I just want to make sure I have 4 different salts here. Okay. This is Epsom salt, and it's just natural salt that is mined from the earth. It comes from a place in England called Epsom, and it's very relaxing to put in your baths or your foot soaks. So I'll pass that around. Salt also is really good for when you have infections. And again, I'm not giving medical advice, but a salt soak, you have a little sore on your finger or your hand, salt always helps draw it out. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to say, if I had a cut, go in the salt water, like go in the ocean, because salt is healing. So this is the Epsom salt. I know you're busy, so we're going to come back to you with this, okay? No, you're okay? Okay. There's the Epsom salt. And then I want to give you the magnesium flakes. So the Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. This is magnesium chloride. This is just a little bit more absorbable, but these make great baths and foot soaks. So I'll pass those 2 around. And then I also have, I just wanted you to see it. It really doesn't have any smell. You can touch it if you want. I just wanted you to, see the difference. Yeah, see the difference. This is pink Himalayan salt. This usually comes from Peru. They have versions of this that you can cook with. They also have salt lamps that are this, which put negative ions in the air, which are really good. And then this is Dead Sea salt. It's a little moist. It comes from the Dead Sea. So I just wanted just to pass it around, just to know, again, if you're stressed in the summer, they don't really smell, but you can add essential oils to them before you put them in your bath or foot soak. But these are just different types of salt, and a bath or foot soak is going to be very relaxing. So this is just a little bit about the difference. I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to see. Yes. I would use about a half to 1 cup. Some people like to do detox baths and they add a little baking soda. And again, if you want to add essential oils to your bath, don't just sprinkle them on the top, especially with children, because if you splash, they're going to just float on the top and they could get in your eye. So you mix the essential oils in one of these salts. If you want to have a spa-like bath, if you want a relaxing bath, add some lavender. You can use, once you learn about essential oils, you can, use them for different things. So anyway, that's the importance of the salt. And that just shows you the magnesium flakes and the Epsom salt are just different chemical versions of magnesium, and the magnesium flakes are a little stronger. This is also great for muscle aches. If you exercise in the summer, you overdo it, just soak in a Epsom salt or magnesium flake bath. Now, I want to show you, it is so easy, or I can just tell you, if you want to make a salt scrub, you're going to get all these recipes. So when you leave, there are 2 handouts here, and you're welcome to screenshot anything, but you will get this recipe. If you take some Epsom salt and some coarse kosher salt, some jojoba oil, or if you like coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, and some essential oils, just mix it together and it's a nice scrub. It exfoliates your skin. And again, we're getting very spa-like. We're taking care of ourselves. So I want you to have that information. And then I'm actually going to make a bath soak with you now. And I just want to show you how easy it is. I just want to get a little thing. Okay. All right. So there's a lot to teach you tonight, so I'm not going to demonstrate everything, but let me just show you how easy this is. And also, this makes great gifts for people that you don't know what to give. This is the oatmeal bath soak, and just get these jars. I make labels with Avery, and you can put a bow on it, or you just treat yourself. But what it is I have a cup of Epsom salt. I already measured it out just to make it easy. So I put a cup of Epsom salt in there. And then I think it's a half cup of baking soda. And again, this is all pre-measured, but I wanted you to see how easy it is. And then a cup of oats, and I put them in a coffee grinder just to make them a little more powdery. And then I'm going to add 3 essential oils. Now, it has a recipe, 5 frankincense, 10 tea tree, and 15 lavender. That's because these are all good for the skin. But as you can see, I'm not measuring. I am very heavy-handed with my essential oils because I just love them. And when you breathe these in, so not only will this be great for your skin and to soak in, but the essential oils are very calming. When you breathe them in, they go through your olfactory bulb to the amygdala, or the emotional part of your brain. So of course you can follow this recipe exactly, but I just added a lot because I just wanted you to see how easy it is. And then you just mix that together. Some of the baking soda might get a little clumpy. So you just mix that up. And as I smell it, I think I want to add a little bit more lavender to it. Just want to break up those clumps. And it's so easy. You could keep a jar of this in your bathroom. And again, I recognize that not everybody takes bath. Some people these days don't even have bathtubs in their house, but then use it as a foot soak. So that is that. And I am going to, when we have a break, or toward the end, what I will do is I have some little jars. I'll give out samples. I'll make sure that everybody goes home with at least something. I'll make a few things tonight so that I'll make sure everybody has something, but I want to go on because I want to get to the sunblock and the skin. But before you leave, if you want to sample, just stay. So skincare. So before we do sunblock and all that, we need to take care of our skin. And it's really important to exfoliate and to get the dead skin off. One thing is dry brushing. Have any of you ever done dry brushing? Okay, and why do you do it? Yes. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? I first heard of this. My oldest son has autism, and when he was little, even still now, he's 28, he's very sensory. He had to have sensory integration therapy. He's very sensory sensitive. And the therapists used to come over with a surgical brush, and they used to brush him to desensitize him. So that was the first I heard of it. But then I heard of it for beauty and health reasons. Yes, it detoxes. It makes your lymphatic system move around. You should start from the bottom of your feet, work up your legs, always work toward your heart. You can brush on your arms, but it does more than just that. First, I just want to tell you, these brushes, they sell them everywhere. This is just one with the handle taken off. See, it has a little fabric loop there, but I just pulled, the handle comes right off. And then I saw little ones like this. These are just natural bristles. It will exfoliate your skin. It'll take off the dead skin. And if anybody, I'm not a self-tanner person, but if anybody does that, you know you have to exfoliate first. It's also good to exfoliate before you put sunblock on. You don't want to get blotchy when you're out in the sun. It also improves your circulation. And remember, we were talking about waking up in the morning? Doing this is going to just stimulate everything, and it's going to wake you up, and it feels really nice. So now I know why they do this with, with children. It could be very calming. So I'm just giving you a taste, and I'm introducing a lot of things. But if you're interested in this, then you could just Google any of this, and you could learn so much more about it. Because I'm very, I love what essential oils does for your skin. I love frankincense for my skin, but there are other essential oils I'll often put on the brush. You do not have to do this. I don't even know if there's any in there, but I have patchouli, I have ylang ylang. Sometimes if I'm a little down or I'm a little tired, I'll put some ylang ylang on it, and that's always very refreshing. And it's another way to refresh and wake yourself up in the morning. So that is your dry brushing. And then you can get certain massage oil. Grapefruit essential oil is supposed to be really good for cellulite. I don't know. Again, I'm not a medical expert. I don't know if it really works magic, but they do have different, cellulite massage oils available, and grapefruit essential oil. And they just, again, you're taking care of yourself. You're massaging your skin, and you would do that after exfoliating. I just wanted to mention there's 3 oils that I really like for your face, so you're not putting chemicals on. And then we'll get to sunblock. So what I wanted to tell you here is, if you go to the big box stores and you buy something off the shelf, it has dead energy. It has synthetic fragrance. It has petroleum products. We're going to get to sunscreen next. Last year, they recalled a lot of sunscreen because it had benzene in it. The stuff on the store shelves really isn't vetted. The government just doesn't have the time and the resources and the people, and it doesn't happen. And there's so many poisonous things out for us. But I do like argan oil. This is an argan oil for your hair, but argan oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, red raspberry seed oil, all those natural plant oils are really good for your skin, as is frankincense. And I love frankincense for my skin. If you get used to it, you can put it on directly, but if you're not used to it, it might tingle. So put it in, get a natural moisturizer, or get an organic oil, whatever you buy, and you might want to put some frankincense in. I find, starting your day, we talked about different things like the brushing or the peppermint oil, but I find that just putting things with high energy rather than that dead energy from the stuff in the stores really wakes me up. It gives me a good start to the day. So, you know, you just might think about it and think about that. The stuff, the salts I told you about, the oils, they come from the earth and they just, everything vibrates. That's physics. And they just vibrate differently. So let's get to sunblock because get outdoors. Okay, so that's really important. Connect with nature, very, very important. And now we're going to talk about sun exposure. So my philosophy is, and in fact, it's so funny. I bought these sun hats just to have in the car, and then it was pouring rain when I came in. And I'm like, I hope nobody sees me with that silly orange hat. But I put it on. It's soaking wet, but it's for the sun, but at least it saved my hair from like totally frizzing up. But I like to be prepared. And the best thing, you can't just rely on sunblock. You want to protect yourself. Don't go out in the sun in the middle of the day if you can avoid that. Seek natural shade. Maybe buy UV clothing that has some sun protection. Do what you can to naturally protect yourself. That's most important. And then use sunscreen at your discretion. There's only one sunscreen, maybe a second, that I would even recommend. And this is why. This is just absolute poison. And most people don't know it. I actually had one as a sample. And then this year, my daughter is a teacher and she got end of the year gifts. And somebody gave her this beautiful beach towel. And there was one of these. She goes, Mom, I know you don't want me to use this. Like, the propellants are the worst. Do you know why? Because you can't help but get that in your lung. No matter how careful you are, and I see people, even baby sunblock, spraying babies and toddlers, it's getting in their lungs, it's getting in your lungs. Last year, there were at least 2 sunblocks that were recalled because they found benzene in the spray sunblock, and benzene causes cancer. So it's just, there's just a host of chemicals in these. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these, but I think it's the homosalate that in Europe, you're only allowed like 10 or 15 less. Let me just say this right. In the United States, you're allowed 10 or 15% more of it in your sunblock than in Europe. Europe is much more conservative when it comes to foods. There's healthier versions of foods. There's healthier versions of beauty products. They're much stricter. So these are shown to cause cancer. PABA is totally unsafe. A lot of these ingredients were grandfathered in. They were never tested. I told you you can inhale. Synthetic fragrance, very, very bad for you. And there's no indication what's in that. If something says synthetic fragrance, they do not have to disclose what makes these. And they find these chemicals circulating in your blood and on your skin weeks after use. So especially around babies and children, pregnant women, but anybody, why would you expose yourself to this? You're solving one problem, but you're causing another. And some people might say to me, well, first of all, I will admit this smells delicious. This smells so great. This smells like the beach. They got you at the fragrance. What I'm going to show you doesn't smell as good, but they get you with the fragrance. They get you with the advertising. They even have free sunscreen at the beach. I've seen that. And I'm like, why don't you tell us what's in that sunscreen? Because these are really, really, really bad chemicals. So I will give you alternatives, but I just want to show you these 2 slides from the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. And this is the octinoxate and the oxybenzone. And one got an F rating, one got a D rating, and they're showing you the concern for asthma, respiratory, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you may say to me, or you may know people that will say to you, I use this all my life and I'm fine. But you don't know what chemicals are in your body. You don't know what your liver is processing. I don't like to say this, but some people, you're fine today, but you're not fine tomorrow. And you don't know what toxic load your body is you know, all these chemicals. Like, yeah, if you use sunblock once, it's not going to, I would hope it wouldn't kill you. But if you're using sunblock and you're using skin cream from the store and you're spraying Lysol and you're using a carpet deodorizer, and I mean, we could just go on and on. Our world is full of chemicals, and it does build up in our body. And, you know, sometimes we don't know it. And I am going to give you an alternative. And this was one of the ones that was recalled. And what really bothered me is that it's Neutrogena. And Neutrogena, like when I was a teenager, oh, Neutrogena, that's like the healthy, natural, and not necessarily so. The banana boat was another one that was recalled. And there's very little any regulation by the government. It really is up to you to be a good consumer. So there are two kinds of sunscreens. There's the chemical sunscreen, which can come in a spray or a liquid. And then there's the mineral sunscreen. And this is the one that's better for you. This is zinc oxide. And the difference is with the chemical sunscreen, it gets absorbed in your skin and then it bounces the rays off of the sun off. The physical chemical the physical mineral sunscreen sits on the surface of your skin and it doesn't get absorbed like the chemicals. So this is one that's made from zinc oxide. If you go to the ewg.org, I think there's one called Think Spot. They have their recommendations. I particularly like this one because have any of you used zinc oxide as a sunscreen? Yeah, that's exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's the picture, the classic picture of the white nose. That's just pure zinc oxide. This is made to rub in. Now, if I don't rub it in well, you're going to see a little white cast. But the darker your skin, the more you have to rub it in. But I taught a class once and I had a woman with dark skin. She just rubbed it in. I already have this on. I used it today, but you really don't see it. You know, it doesn't, I'll pass it around if you'd like to try it. It doesn't smell pretty. It doesn't smell like copper tone. It doesn't smell like coconut. It's just plain zinc oxide, but it doesn't have nanoparticles in it. If you want to put a little on, feel free. Yes. So that's a great question. So when I was first learning this, I learned that the titanium dioxide was also good. And I used to teach that, but now there are some concerns about titanium dioxide. So I don't know if it's necessarily for the sunblock, but there are other concerns. So I kind of stay away from it because I don't know if you've heard any of the controversy, like in makeup and stuff. So I feel that the zinc, nobody has anything negative to say. But yes, they do make some titanium dioxide ones. And you want to make sure and the EWG will say this, whichever ones you get, you don't want to have nanoparticles because if nanoparticles are tiny particles that will get into your lungs. So that's my answer to this. I know we had the sunscreen question, and that's my answer, to use a mineral physical barrier, but also take precautions and don't like fry out in the sun. Yes. I don't remember what it stands for. It's a chemical thing, but he told you that because they used to put it in sunscreens and it's very toxic. So at least he knows that. Yes, yeah. So it's some mumble jumble chemical name that I don't know. But if you Google it, you'd find it. That's a great question. Yeah. Anybody else on the sunscreens? Okay. So I just want to throw in, there are different, you're going to get all these recipes, but if you'd like to make self-care products for yourself, very soothing is aloe. Have any of you used aloe? You could actually get fresh aloe, the plant, and squeeze some out of it. You could buy it in the produce store. You could grow it yourself. I'm not telling you to get that green gel. That green gel has all the negative energy as everything else on the shelf. This one I thought aloe vera gel, hand harvested and cold pressed. I don't know if it's necessarily organic, but that's another whole story because organic doesn't always mean organic, but it's a natural one. So it's very soothing. I sometimes put it in my essential oil sprays, and you can make your own. You could also buy things, but you can get little spray bottles like this, and you can just put some aloe and some lavender essential oil. That one has witch hazel. Witch hazel comes from a plant also. And witch hazel is an astringent. It's very soothing to the skin. It has 14% alcohol. You know where they use this a lot? This is in like for hemorrhoid pads and stuff like that. It just like kind of eases and soothes things. So this is also a natural. I also got a natural one and no fragrance. Okay, so you can do that. And this is one that you could make. I don't want to, there's a lot. I know you want to know about bug spray. So I'm going to wait till the end to see if I have time, and then I'll show you how to make it. But basically you just add some peppermint essential oil, some lavender. And what I wanted to tell you is I carry this. Remember I told you I always have a cooler with ice. And when I got here, I put it in your refrigerator just to chill it. I love to keep this in my refrigerator at home or on the go, because again, you're hot, you're sweating, you're tired. It's just that slump. And I'll pass this around. The label got a little, but it's cooling, and you can close your eyes and spray it on your face. You could spray it on your arm and just spray it in the air. But it's, if you like lavender, does anybody, some people don't like lavender. So I don't know. Does anybody not like lavender? And this is real lavender. This is not synthetic lavender. So sometimes when you spell, oh, this one is lavender and peppermint. That one is just lavender and aloe. It's nice, right? And that's the whole point. I know I've said it before, but I want you to take care of yourself this summer. That's what's really important. Here's another recipe that you're going to get with peppermint and wintergreen. And I keep that in my refrigerator and chilled also. Those mint oils, very, very cooling, very soothing. Just don't get it in your eye. Be very careful, and be very careful around children. This is the one I'm actually passing around. This is the one that you're trying now. And you're getting all these recipes, and you're going to get the recipe for your hair. I told you I love argan oil. This, you like the argan? Sometimes you can even just do some coconut oil or some fractionated coconut oil and let it sit for a couple of hours and then wash it out. The oils are very, very moisturizing. Here's, you know what they say that I've been trying? It's not a miracle, but castor oil. Like I've been using castor oil on my eyebrows because I feel my eyebrows are thinning out. Castor oil, lavender, cedarwood, and rosemary essential oils are supposed to be very good for hair growth. But the thing, has anybody used castor oil? Did she make you drink it? Yeah. Does anybody know anything about the consistency? It's very sticky. It's very hard to get off your skin. So if you put it on your scalp, you're gonna really have to wash it out. So I just put it in little spots, you know. Castor oil. So the essential oils are rosemary, lavender, and cedarwood. For the hair. So sometimes I will put them in a spray bottle with a little witch hazel, because sometimes my daughter likes to, you know, make a little hair growth spray. And I'll see if I have the recipe on here. Does it work? That's what I was saying. I've been doing a little bit. It's not a miracle. It makes a little difference. So, well, I've just been doing the castor oil because it's quicker. But for a while, I felt my hair thinning here, and I was using the lavender and the cedarwood and the rosemary, and I think it helped a little. But again, it's not a miracle cure. I think the things with the essential oils, sometimes you get an essential oil that'll be a miracle cure for something, and I have those, but sometimes it just helps. It's not a drug. You know, sometimes Um, excuse me? It's always good. It can't hurt you as long as you don't, misuse it. But those are some hair mask recipes that you're going to get. This is a really great detangler spray. Again, just natural oils. You have a little girl with knots in her hair. You don't have to put all those chemicals in her hair, or you go to the beach and, those are just great things for your hair. So essential oils, basically, does anybody know what they are? And then I'll get to the bug spray. Anybody know what it's? Do any of you use them? I'm just curious, what do you use them for? Diffuser. Okay. So they make a great substitute for toxic chemical sprays and plugins and all that. Yeah.
I put them in my cleaning solution that I make.
Yeah.
Not that they clean, but it gives things a nice.
Right, so you don't have the toxic fragrance. And lemon will take sticky labels off, and lemon and orange are a little bit of a degreaser, but they make cleaning more fun. Yes. So what they are is they're a part of a plant that's distilled with seed. So they'll take a flower, a stem, a bark, a grass, a root, just some part of the plant. They'll put it in a big vat, they'll put steam in it, and they'll separate the liquids. The aromatic liquid that comes out is the essential oil. And that's all it is. It's just, if it's made properly, as long as it wasn't distilled with a chemical, you want it distilled with steam. You don't want them to have grown the oil that you buy. Don't have something peppermint that was grown with pesticides, because it's so concentrated, you're going to defeat your purpose. So you always want to, work with something natural, but I've been talking about them and I want to make sure that you know what they are. There's liquid in the plant, and it's just the distillation of the liquid in the plant. When it comes to citrus oils, it's just a crushed rind. So orange essential oil is just the crushed rind. In fact, let me pass one more around for you to smell. I was hoping I had I said a lemon. Let's see. I was hoping I had a citrus handy, but let's pass around. You already smelled lavender. Let's do lime, because we were talking about citrus. Smells just like a lime. All right, so you can try that. And again, just don't buy ones that have chemicals in them, because you're defeating the purpose. And this is what I mentioned to you before. Remember we did the lavender spray? We talked about the baths. This is how it gets to your brain. You can use essential oils to help you sleep, to help you focus, to give you energy, to relax you. And many of them are naturally antimicrobial. But again, that's another story. Okay, so lavender, cedarwood, vetiver, a really valerian. Did you ever hear of people taking valerian root to sleep? There is a valerian essential oil, which is great for sleep, but the secret is stinks. It really smells. So these are not, I always tell people, these are not Bath and Body Work. Okay, this is not going to smell like a Yankee Candle. It's much more natural. When you diffuse, it's very light. So to help you sleep, you can put a diffuser next to your bed so you breathe it in all night. You could rub these oils on the bottom of your feet, because your feet have a lot of pores. You could put a drop on a cotton puff, and as long as you don't have like some really expensive pillowcase, stick it in your pillowcase or next to your pillowcase. And I'll go back to that diagram. It gets to your brain and it just helps relax you. Just like I said before, is it going to knock you out like a sleeping pill? No, but it will help you relax. And then you know what else? You start to associate it with sleep. So this is one thing, like say you want to teach a baby or a child to sleep. You might want to say, okay, I'm going to associate lavender with sleeping. But if they're crying and fussy, don't diffuse the lavender then, because then they're gonna associate it. But you associate, can you imagine the smell of what it smelled like when you went to the doctor and you were a kid and you got that butterflies in your stomach, right? That antiseptic smell. Or did you ever go back to your elementary school and it just has a smell, right? I even remember there was one particular building in my college, the building had a smell, even when I went back like 20 years ago. But then there's also good things like grandma's cooking, or I don't know if you celebrate Christmas, the smell of a pine tree coming in your house, we associate smells with things. So you could train yourself when you're relaxed. Like say you go for, let's just say you go for massages and the massage therapist uses lavender massage oil, or they're diffusing lavender, and you can associate that with relaxation, then diffuse it. But if you're all upset, you just had a big fight with somebody and you can't sleep, don't diffuse the lavender, because then you're gonna, we make associations with smells. We really, really do. Like open up a bottle of vanilla and smell it, and smells like sugar cookies, and yes.
Lavender, cedarwood, valerian, what was the other one?
Vetiver is good for vetiver, Vetiver. And I know this because my oldest son, I told you he has autism. He has lots of trouble with sleeping, and I do a lot of essential oil work with him. It's not magic. So if you like a particular oil, like there's a blend called Stress Away, or if you like the lime, just pick what's relaxing to you. But those are ones that are known to be very soothing. Some of them are like valerian is a root, vetiver is a grass. So some of them are just like they're earthy kind of oils, and some of them smell very earthy. Lavender, I think we've just all associated it somehow with relaxation. But I hope that answers. You can make yourself a salt bath before you go to bed and just kind of treat it like spa-like to help you sleep. Oh, and that's to put the oils on the bottom of your feet. I told you some of them are antimicrobial. There's a blend called Thieves that is very antimicrobial. So if you don't want to catch a summer cold, you can roll it on the bottom of your feet. The pores in the bottom of your feet will suck it up. It's tiny, tiny. It'll get throughout your bloodstream and it'll help. You could do it preventative or otherwise, but that's a really good oil. I make rollers and I put frankincense, oregano, thyme, and thieves in it. And then we roll them on the bottom of our feet. Oregano and thyme are really antimicrobial. What about, you ever see some cultures, they wear garlic around their neck? That's what I'm just telling you. There's wisdom in plants. Like this is not just made up stuff. People use plants and there's all kind of mixtures you could make with garlic and herbs, right? The difference is the herbs are dried and they're not as potent. They're still good, and there's a whole field of being, a herbologist. Am I saying right? I'm not sure. But essential oils are a little bit more alive and they're a little bit more concentrated than the dried herbs. So if you were ever making something up for yourself, you would use less essential oil than you would for herbs. But it's all plants. And we can go back to any of this. I just want to make sure I cover everything. So peppermint spray. And some of us were chatting when class started. Bugs do not like peppermint spray. Ants do not like peppermint spray. So this is not a pesticide, and this is not going to kill ants. But once they get a whiff of it, they are going to run the other way, and all the little ones that follow them are going to go with them. So let's just, you had ants in your kitchen cabinets. Put some peppermint essential oil on some cotton puffs and stick it in the corner of your cabinets. Or you can make, I'm going to pass around this spray. This is I just put a pretty label on it, and I wrote put a peppermint label. This is just peppermint essential oil and water. You can, as long as it's safe for your floors, you can spray by your back door. You can go out in your garden and it's very refreshing. I love it. So you can try that. So peppermint is great to get rid of bugs. All right. So, but there's more. And ants also do not like cinnamon, and they don't like vinegar. All right, so those are other smells that ants aren't going to like, and there's the cotton puffs.
Don't like vinegar either.
That's right, that's right. And there's a whole, like, people buy Roundup, and it's so toxic, and all you need is vinegar. That's right. Sometimes I'll even sprinkle some salt on weeds, and then they'll dry up.
You make a solution, vinegar, water, a couple of drops of dish soap and
Yes,
salt. I don't remember the proportions.
you're correct.
You can Google it. They have it.
That's great. Yeah. And I think the soap helps it all stick to the weeds. You
That's
just a
all,
little bit of
yes.
dish soap.
You
Yeah.
do it when it's sunny out.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you run the sprinklers, it's
Yeah.
dissolving what you spray.
Yeah. It's not, going natural is not always easier, but I feel it's safer and it makes me feel good. Like, I don't know how you feel just having a few things passed around and having this, it just feels nice. And and especially right. And when it comes to my family, I feel I'm doing good for them. So anyway, this is a little bug bite stick that you could make. And let me just see where that is. All right, so I'll just show you really quickly. You can buy these roller bottles. These are 10 milliliter size. And I buy a lot. I will never buy essential oils on Amazon, but I buy all my supplies. Because if you buy your essential oils on Amazon, you don't know where it came from. It could be people selling, it could have been sitting in their garage or their attic for years, and they just like to put it up on Amazon. So be careful, because you don't know what you're getting. But the accessories, the bottles, the spray, all the things here that I have, the spray bottles, I buy all that on Amazon. So if you wanted to make a stick like this, all you would have to do is take some of these oils. These bottles come with little roller tops, and I used purification lavender and tea tree. And I'll just show you really quickly. And I'm going to make this quickly, so I'm not going to stand here and drop because I don't have the patience. But I'm just going to pour a little lavender in there. And this is not like we're baking and we have to level everything off. It's not like that. It's no mistake if you have a little bit more purification or a little more tea tree. So I put a little of that, and I'll put a little tea tree in there. And you can add a carrier oil. A carrier oil is a fatty oil like coconut oil that will stretch and dilute it, because maybe you don't want to put this full strength on your skin. But for bug itch, I do like this. And now I have a friend, and she swears by the lavender. She just likes to put plain lavender on. Everybody's different. Plain lavender doesn't necessarily do it for me. And if you have, again, I want to be, full disclosure. If you have a really, really bad itch, your doctor might tell you to put cortisone on. This, hopefully you won't need that. But what I did, I know everybody couldn't see, I just poured some oils in here, and I put this little roller top on, and then it comes with a little tool so you don't hurt your hand, and you just snap that in. Then if you want to refill it, you can use this little tool to open it and refill it. And then it's very convenient. You can roll this on a bug bite, and these are great to throw in your bags also. And then I just want to show you the little label. I just, again, close these tightly so that they stay nice. I'll just put those away, and then I'm going to show you the label. Okay, and this is, you can just write on it, you can know what it is, but this is just a label that I printed on the computer, and it's bug bite itch relief. And I'll just put it on there. And I love to have these at home, or if you travel, throw in your beach bag and you have a little something. All right. I mean, I could do crafts all day. So I just want to get to the rest of the bug stuff, and then we'll see if I have time to make a few more things for you. All right, so that's the bug bite. Oh, and they sell rollers that you can put right on top. Like I told you, my friend, she loves lavender. I don't think I have one here. I think I have it here. You can put, yes, you can put these little roller tops right on the top of your essential oil. You take that little cap off and you put this on. so that if you want to just roll right from the bottle. But once you roll from the bottle, like say I was rolling, say I had an itch and I was rolling, just say peppermint on. Then I wouldn't, that roller picked up little skin cells, so then just don't put that lavender in your water. You know, once you make it a roller, it's a roller. Okay, this is, I don't know why I put this one in. It's just nice. It says fall diffuser blend. So if it's August and you're getting used to getting ready for fall, but any time of year, I love cinnamon, vanilla, and orange. That's just nice one. Okay, insect repellent. So DEET and everything else they sell, they're pesticides. So you know that. If it's gonna kill a bug, it's gonna hurt you. And you're gonna breathe it in. So I use this one. And what this is sesame oil. And I really will have to try to read this without my glasses. This has citronella, lemongrass, rosemary, geranium, spearmint, thyme, and clove essential oil in it in a base of sesame oil. So I'll pass this around also. It's a little greasy because it's sesame oil, but you're going to have your pros and cons. Let me just see. This is, oh, I use this all the time. And no. I have other tricks for mosquitoes. I sometimes, if I'm in a really bad area, I'll put this on, and then I'm going to show you some sprays, and then I'll walk around with a bottle of citronella and spray citronella around me just as an added protection. It's not going to kill them as good as DEET, but I think it works really well. I don't get
Go near DEET.
no, or that other stuff that they use, picarin or something like that. It's all, oh, I don't know why this isn't. Let me just try to get that. And then, yeah, there it goes. Maybe I was just, maybe if there's paper towels, it's greasy. So maybe you don't, do we have paper towel? Yeah. So if you want to try it, it's greasy, but it keeps the bugs away. And I find I ride my bicycle a lot, and maybe I'm just like over prepared, but in my basket for my bicycle, I always have a couple of the wipes because that just, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'll pass this around in case you want to, it's oily, but I don't know any other one that's as safe. I haven't found, but you could always go on the environmental working group, ewg.org, but I'm going to show you some you can make yourself, but I think this is the strongest. And then I layer it. So I will take citronella. Now, citronella is an essential oil. The candles, I don't know if it's pure citronella. I don't know if they have lead wicks. I don't know what paraffin and petroleum products are in the wax. But what I will do is I'll mix it in this spray bottle and I'll pass this around. And then if it's really mosquito-y, I'm going to show you a slide. If you're out in your backyard, bring some fans out. Because if you have fans, the mosquitoes, the air will keep them away. But then I'll give this a light mist over the other. And that's what I do for mosquitoes. I'll pass this around. This is citronella.
Ones that you make yourself, are you giving us the recipe?
There's some, but I have like 10 or 12 recipes. They're all on my website.
Oh.
So I have one or two on the handout, but there's so many of them. You can use geranium. You can use, there's so many scents that bugs don't like. But this is the solution I found. Or you might find something similar to the one that I pass around, or you might find one on EWG.
Spray your clothes as well for tick repellent, or is this just mosquito?
This is bugs. So now you're one step ahead of me for ticks. Okay. So for ticks, I have a certain spray, and you have to be so careful. I also want to tell you for ticks, do you sometimes see on the internet, they say, put a little essential oil on the tick? Don't do that. No, that's not safe. Again, ask your doctor, but they sell these little spoons on Amazon and it's supposed to just remove the tick.
Oh, they say let's squeeze it.
This is a tick remover. they came 3 in a pack. It was called Tick Off. Okay, but preventative wise,
Is that if the tick is embedded in the skin?
if it's on your skin,
Oh,
this is a safe way to get it off. Yes. Now, this is on my website. This is a tick repellent recipe. It's lemongrass. You said eucalyptus before. You were right. Lemongrass and eucalyptus in a spray bottle. The other thing is there is an oil called Kunzea. So I just want to find that. And this is what I often do. So I take this spray bottle. I add this into here. You can add a little witch hazel if you want. And then I dump a bottle of Kunzea in it for ticks, for good measure. So I'll take, just for convenience, so this mist. So I'll pour this bottle into here. Oh, I have one. I'm telling you I would do it, but I have it right here. I pour it in here. I peel the label off. I put the label on. Put a little witch hazel so it's not as like sticky and thick. And I put a bottle of Kunzea essential oil in. Kunzea comes from the tick bush. It's Kunzea. This one is on my website. I'll pass this around. This comes from Australia. Just smells kind of fruity. It comes from the tick bush. And they call it the tick bush because the ticks will not go anywhere where that bush or shrub is growing. So in Australia, they call it the tick bush. So I just add it to my mix of what I think is good. And I feel confident. I mean, I'm not going to go barefoot in the woods. Bless you. Sometimes a lot of essential oils can make you sneeze. Yeah. It's a little too much sometimes. Yeah. Oh, the Kunzea made you smell? Sneeze. Yeah. It's like the sunscreen. You have to take some precautions. You have to wear long pants and you have to be careful, but this gives me, I feel, the extra protection. So that's what I would use. Now, will DEET work better? Will a pesticide work better? Absolutely. But it's your choice whether you want to put that on your skin. These also are other oils that bugs don't like. You can put citronella on your pulse points. I'll pass around vanilla if you would like to try it. I hope, am I giving you too many? I hope if it's too much, just don't smell it. Vanilla is thick, but I want you to smell it because it's nice. So there's a dropper bottle, and if you'd like to put a drop or just smell it, you can try some vanilla. But these are just different things. You could put it on the soles of your feet, etc. Okay, diffuse citronella outside. Do you ever take your diffusers outside? It's safer than a candle, and just diffuse it. Or here's some other ideas. You can diffuse peppermint if you have mosquitoes outside. You can diffuse lemongrass with clove and cinnamon bark. You can sprinkle cinnamon in a pan. Bugs don't like this. And of course, rid your property of any standing water. I think you all know that, for the mosquitoes. But did you ever think to take a diffuser outside and just put some citronella in it? But I'll sit outside in the summer with this one, and I'll just like spray away. I'm like, you bugs don't come near me. And I'm just like spraying this like crazy. So, those will help. Okay, I just have a few more slides to show you, and then I could answer any question, give out some samples. Okay, so mosquitoes, they don't like peppermint, lavender, basil, or tea tree. And whether you have the herbs or the essential oil, whatever you have, they won't like that. You can add citronella or geranium, put them on a clothespin and put it on an outdoor fan, and again, avoid stagnant water. And if you have any stagnant water and you think there's mosquitoes breeding, pour some coffee grinds in there. I don't know why, but supposedly will kill them. And then a natural bug spray. This is so easy. I just put citronella and peppermint and water in one of these spray bottles, and you have your own insect repellent. And then, like I said, there's lots of variations. And we talked about sleep. These were some of the ones I mentioned: cedarwood, lavender, valerian, rutavala. Rue, R-U-E, is another one. This is a blend of rue, valerian, and lavender. So they call it rutavala. So those are just some that help with sleep. We touched on that. I just wanted, okay, yeah, I'll go back. I just wanted to make sure I covered everything in, in our time, and now I can give out some samples, make some things that you want to see, answer your questions. Yes. Rue is R-U-E. I don't. Do you? That's great. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, yeah. But that's nice that you're growing it. Anything. There was that one slide I went through before quickly about connecting with nature. And, again, in the summer, we could be stressed. Maybe kids are home from school. We have vacation stress. We're hot. We're sweaty. We're uncomfortable. It's humid. It just could be sometimes too much. And anytime you can connect to nature. So if you garden, if you grow your own herbs or plants, you put them on you. One other thing I love to do any of you do grounding or earthing? Do you know what that is? Anybody? Do you do that? Does anybody know what earthing or grounding is? Bare feet. Yes. Bare feet on the earth. Because, and especially if you're near the water, but even in your backyard, of course, be careful of rocks and glass, and if the landscape is sprayed pesticides. But you have a lot of oxidation going on in your body, and, just effects of metabolism. When you stand on the earth, you get good ions, which happen to be negative ions. If you remember from chemistry, like there's positive ions and negative ions, like floating around the atoms and all. Well, the negative ions are good for us. Remember I mentioned a Himalayan salt lamp before? That gives off negative ions in the air. So does diffusing. So all of that is great for you. But studies have shown, and again, these are all topics. Each of these topics could probably be a class in itself, but I'm throwing out ideas, and then whatever is of interest to you, you can go home and look up more. But if you could try 20 minutes a day, sometimes I just sit out on my back deck on the step, and I just try to read, even if it's not good to be on your phone, but even if on my phone, I try to plant my feet on the earth every day, weather permitting. It's relaxing, it's calming, and it's good for you. Again, I'm not a medical expert, but there's a lot of books, there's a lot of studies. You may not really feel different, you might, but anytime you connect, you see water, you see earth, you touch earth, you garden, you step in the dirt, you have your hands in the plants, you take a salt bath, you go in the ocean. That's all going to be rejuvenating for you. None of that is harmful. And again, the energy and the vibe of it all is so good compared to any chemicals that you can buy in the store that you're going to spray around yourself and your family. So let me answer questions, and then I'll make anything that, that we have time that I can make. Yes. Oh, both of you. So I'll let you ask, and then I'll let you ask. Yes. Yes. So these are, you're absolutely right. I try to avoid plastic at all costs for essential oils, because the oils can start to absorb into, like, melt the plastic, and then the toxic chemical from the plastic. So this is a medical grade plastic. So this is fine. I have no choice. I feel it's hard enough. It's not like, it's not a soft plastic. So I feel okay with it. And I don't, it's one season. It's not like I don't store it long term, but it's just like water bottles, like the Poland Spring, those thin bottles. That's a little iffy, but if you get the big jugs, again, it's not perfect, but if it's hard plastic, it's a little better. So that's a great question. Okay. And do this. Yeah, it could be on grass. It could even be on concrete, they say is even good. Even if you have like a white concrete patio and just to touch the earth, and those negative ions will get into the bottom of your feet. Just be careful, don't cut yourself, and that kind of thing. But if you look into it, it's very, very interesting. Yeah. That's a great question. Oh, okay. Deodorant. Okay. So first of all, if any of you are using an antiperspirant that has aluminum, go home and throw it out. Okay. Aluminum. So I'm going to give you 2 suggestions. Okay. Well, this natural thing, let's just go back. Your pores are open, your lymph nodes are there, it's near your breast tissue. Aluminum is so toxic, and it's in so many antiperspirants. So just do me one favor, go home and read your deodorant, or it's really in the antiperspirants. And if it has aluminum, throw it out. I'm going to tell you what I use, and my daughter just found something, so I'm going to look it up because she just made me order. My daughter uses, my daughter has really bought into my lifestyle, and she's very critical of toxic chemicals. So she doesn't, because you're going to laugh when I tell you what I use. So I'm going to tell you, she made me order it, so I'm sure I can find it in her text. Baking soda also absorbs odor. It is, yeah. Yeah, but it does. No. And just
like a clay.
Okay.
Take like a pea-size amount and you rub it in.
Okay.
If you don't rub it in enough, I found out the hard way, it stains your white clothes.
Okay.
The underarm, they're all discolored. So I called them, they said, rub it in more, but maybe don't use as much.
Okay.
It doesn't stain, but I only tend to use it when I'm wearing dark.
Okay. And my daughter's is very white and creamy, and it comes on her white clothes. So she loves this one. So I just want to tell you, I'm just trying to look. They're bought by a big company. It's just like the natural cleaning companies. They're all owned. It's not Thomas and Maine anymore. So you would check. I'll tell you what I do. I'm trying to. That's what I use. No, no, that's what I use for deodorant. I use the Thieves toothpaste. The first time somebody told me that, I'm like, what? That's crazy. But the Thieves is a blend. It's the Thieves oil is cinnamon bark. There it is. I'll pass this around too. This is very spicy. Don't put this on your skin. Just smell it. It's cinnamon bark, clove, lemon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. There's a lot of antimicrobial oils. They make a toothpaste with this in it. I use that as my natural deodorant. It really works. You first put it on, it's a little sticky, but then I have to wipe my hands, and it works. But I want to tell you what my daughter found, because hers is a little bit more conventional. I'll pass around the Thieves, but again, it has clove and cinnamon bark. Don't put it on your skin. It might make it a little itchy. This is an oil that has to be diluted, so you just might want to smell it. It's very spicy. And I am going to go back and just see the picture. Oh, I know where I could find that. You would get it online, yes. They don't have it in Whole Foods. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find that toothpaste. It's called Primally Pure. And it's not on Amazon. She went to their website, Primally Pure, and it's they have a couple of different products, and so this is my daughter's recommendation, and she's tried every natural deodorant there is. My son uses Schmidt's.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, and he's happy with the Schmidt's, so
I don't find it works.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe for a few hours.
All right. And she really likes this. So it's called Primally Pure. I'm giving you a secondhand recommendation. I use the Thieves toothpaste. No, this is the one my daughter uses.
Oh, it's a stick.
It's a stick, yeah. Yeah. Of course, you don't want to use an aerosol. Does, what? Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody else have a recommendation? Okay, so now I'm gonna tell her she was a star in my class. What other questions do you have? Well, think of your questions and I'm gonna start giving some of these out. I'll make sure everybody has something. Is there anybody that firsthand I see that really wants the bug spray? The bug thing,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
this was the first one, okay. She was quick. I'll see how many. Excuse me? Okay. Excuse me? Yeah. That really, the peppermint, and the peppermint is also refreshing. So this is a little bit, I would say this isn't enough for a bath, but if you want to make a foot soak, and I make foot soaks for my other son, I talked about my other two kids, but my middle child, my 25-year-old son, I do a lot of tea tree and different oils and Epsom salt in foot baths for him. He's an athlete and it's really, really relaxing. So I want to give everybody one of these to take and let me answer any other questions you have. And then maybe I'll have time enough to make a spray. Yes. You want to know the truth? I have a great dermatologist and I went to him and he sprayed them with oxygen and they turned black for 10 days and they fell off like scabs because I've done all the natural, like the lemon juice and all that. But you have to, again, you have to go to your doctor. I just found this wonderful dermatologist and for 10 days, it looked like I had these big freckles on my face, but because it scabbed over and I was like, and I had to teach a class one night too when I had it wasn't here, but I was at another library and I'm like, oh my God, I have all these black things on my face.
Did you tell them?
I didn't, I was embarrassed and they didn't come back. And because you know what, I'll tell you my vanity story while I do this. Because I make YouTube videos and every time I had one right here and every time I made a video, I was like, that spot on my face. But so then he was going to do this one and I said, oh, there's one here. I'm like, well, while you're at it. And he was such a nice man. What were you going to say?
It's like they zap it with,
I think he used oxygen.
I don't know what it is. I went to my dermatologist and I had like these marks that I didn't like.
Yeah.
It's like I had so many.
Right.
Did like a whole bunch of them and the same thing. They stabbed.
Yes.
Fell off.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you call the thing.
I
A
think,
zapper.
I don't know. I think it was oxygen, but I'm not, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. You're welcome. I don't know. So you know what? That's a great question because it sums up what I was trying to say before. None of this is magic. I really think the sunblock works. The bug spray works. This stuff works. The sleep stuff takes the edge off, but the sleep stuff is not going to put you out like a sleeping pill. The lemon juice might fade it a little, but so I like the word balance. I like to find balance in everything. And we use as many natural products as you're welcome. I have for everybody. You're welcome. Use your discretion and find your balance between what natural you can do. And, I just want to make sure these are all full. And then, you pick and choose as you go, like, every toxic chemical that you get rid of, you're better off. You know what I mean? You don't have to expect perfection of yourself. You're welcome. So, again, the whole idea of this was to open your eye. Did everybody get one? Yeah, okay. Okay, you're welcome. Yes.
Gummies.
Oh,
CBD gummies. I
okay.
said.
So, okay, you're welcome. So I use for my kids and myself, extremely pure CBD that has absolutely no THC in it. Absolutely none. And what they do, so THC has a chemical called terpenes in it. And the THC, I don't know the correct term, the psychotic drug or whatever, the psychedelic, I don't know, whatever it does to your brain in the marijuana or whatever. When you take that out of the CBD, it's not as strong, but I use a CBD that has essential oils added, and they add essential oils that have the terpenes in it. So it's like a special spectrum. It doesn't have anything, I'm sorry, I'm not using the word right, like any drug in it, but it has essential oils to lift up the pure CBD. My daughter uses it for anxiety. I give it to my oldest son. Sometimes when I told you, he has special needs when he's agitated. And then I use a CBD muscle rub that has essential oils, like for just little minor aches and pains. I'll put it on my hip or my back.
I've been taking it to sleep and for focus.
Oh, good. And as long as you get something natural.
Like you said, it doesn't like knock you out. A family member, I was at Father's Day, whatever.
You're welcome. I'll have some video for you. All right, you want to ask me individually? Okay. Yeah. So again, I can't give medical advice, but I just like to share like anecdotal real life things. So yes, I hope I didn't miss anything. So yes, I've tried it, and I use it for my kids, and it just takes that little edge off. Yeah. So we had another question, and that was about inflammation. And I think that really, that's really has to go to your doctor, but there is an essential oil. There is an essential oil that's anti-inflammatory, and that's called copaiba. And it comes from the copal tree from South America. And they found the interesting thing that injured animals would just naturally go rub up against this tree because it had these healing properties. So, so sometimes for minor inflammation, what did I mix it in the other day for my daughter? Oh, I think she had back pain. And I mixed copaiba with a couple of other oils, and I made her a roller, like I showed you the roller, and we rolled it on her back. But it's just like we said, it takes the edge off. I'm sure your doctor would, you've done everything. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I take turmeric too.
I'm mispronouncing it.
Turmeric, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I get that.
What about bus? Yeah. But it bothers you. But it bothers you. But it bothers you.
Well, it bothers me because I gained a lot of weight, so I know that's part of it. And walking, not the thing. I had COVID, and so I still have to walk. But yeah, swelling, it doesn't hurt, just that it looks horrible. And at the end of the day, like in the morning, it's fine.
The only other thing I could think of is, because again, you need a medical, is sometimes go to another doctor. Like sometimes Oh, yeah, because I've had so many experiences. Like, I'll tell you the other thing, the dermatologist I told you I loved. So I had a little wart on my finger. I don't know where it came from, and somebody recommended a dermatologist. He couldn't get it off. Then I went to this great one that took the things off my face. He got rid of it.
What's the
So
name?
I'll tell you, I don't want to, because we're on camera, but I'll tell you. But he's in Levittown, and I think he's in Oceanside too. But very, very nice man. But I found myself, that's the only, because I can't give you medical advice, but you know what? Sometimes keep finding someone until you resonate with, you feel comfortable. Sometimes we think doctors are like gods and we can't question them. And you,
How about a nutritionist?
and the nutrition, that's great.
That's right. He treats the whole body, just like a doctor.
That's right.
He just doesn't use anything harmful.
Right. And
No drugs.
right, right. And you could, again, on your discretion, some people love acupuncturists, nutritionists, there's all kinds of additional therapies. Sometimes a naturopath, like a natural focused doctor. I'm trying to think of other modalities. Chiropractors, right? There's a lot of there's a lot of healing people out there, but it takes effort to find them, you know, and then you get discouraged. Don't go what? Yeah, I know. It's not, I- if I could change it, it would be, it would, it would be covered by everybody essential oils, you know, yes.
Can you recommend an oil for adrenal glands?
I use an oil called Endoflex. Endoflex. And it is, it supports all hormones. And I put it, again, no medical advice, this is me. I put it on my thyroid every day and I put it on my adrenals every morning. And it just seeps into your skin and it's support.
Actual
Oil, I put it on my thyroid and I rub it on my adrenals. And then when I'm tired, there's an oil called, I mean, all these blends have backgrounds to them, and that's like a whole nother class, but it's called Energy, but it's N-E-R-G. And when I'm tired, it's very spicy smelling. I put it on my adrenals. I just put it right there, and Energy, E-N-E-R-G-E-E. They just spell it differently because they can't make a claim. They can't make a claim on the label. So, but you know, so yeah, you know, and then you could also search, you know, there's there's a world out there of natural healing. And I think people are just, you know, people are just questioning now, you know, what's in my products and what else can I do? And, you know, but it's,
These are the Young Living
Mhm.
oils.
I
Are
use
they better than?
I like them because I know they don't use pesticides. They hand weed the fields and they don't use synthetic fragrance and solvents. So that would, I would say, when you're looking for an essential oil, those would be your guidelines. You want a company that's not using pesticides, because the oils are so concentrated, then you would defeat the purpose. Obviously, no synthetic fragrance and no solvents. You want it distilled with steam or pressed. So like a company that does it naturally. Okay. I can help you with it if you wanted. Yeah. Yeah. So anybody else? Oh, okay. So just want to ask you, I have handouts up here. I didn't give them to you in the beginning because I don't like people to read. And the library asked if you would be kind enough to do a survey. So they have a survey and pencils, and you can put it here. And then when you come up, there's 2 handouts. I put out some more oils if you want to try anything, and then I'll be here. So if you have any individual questions, I'd be happy to help you. Okay, all right, thank you. You guys were great. We had such a nice discussion. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.